I'm not even sure I know what day it is today. Okay, it is the 10th. That's what I thought. I, I wasn't sure. I'm second guessing everything right now. Hi, everybody. My name's Kay. You're watching Amidst the Gray. And today, I thought I would attempt to get my life back in order by having a little chat about some lessons from Saturn. Let's do it. I feel like I'm coming out of having been spun in a perpetual circle, just nonstop over and over and over again for the past 4 days. I have been ill since Thursday night. So Thursday would have been the 5th? I don't even know anymore. But but yeah, so it was the flu. I started not feeling well Thursday night. I took a nap after work and I woke up and I felt off. I didn't feel full on sick, but I didn't feel right. But I thought maybe it was something I ate or I was just overtired. But I don't know. But so I went to work Friday morning. I taught my first period and it was about an hour and a half later I left and I came home. I could feel it coming. And I have been home since I did not go to work yesterday, Monday, or today, Tuesday. I have been without a fever for about 36 hours, so that's good. I'm just very headachy right now. I think part of the reason for that is I haven't had coffee since Friday morning. And so that might be a contributing factor. And then just the electrolyte imbalance. I didn't have the stomach kind. It wasn't, but my stomach's been sensitive, but no throwing up or anything like that. But yeah, it's been a trip. This I don't get the flu often. I think the last time I got the flu, my son was very, very young and he's 17 now. So I will catch every cold floating around in the ether, but the more serious kind of respiratory stuff is a little bit more unusual for me. So this was kind of a shock. My son had the same thing in December, kind of in my area. It was like the height of flu and strep and RSV and all of those more serious viruses. He kind of had it during that time. So far, this time my son's been fine. He's gone to school and he's been okay. So I'm waiting for the possibility for that to occur. But the most insane thing about this entire experience was not only did I get sick, but so did my cat. My cat, she's 11 years old. We've had her since she was 8 weeks old, since she was a little baby kitten, and she has only ever been this sick one other time, and it was when I think she had just turned 1, and she got like really, really bad vomiting and diarrhea. It was like kitty rotavirus, and she hasn't been sick since then until this weekend. And this weekend, just like all Hades just broke loose in my household as far as, you know, germs. And I felt so bad for her because she was just so uncomfortable. And for it was Sunday, I was really, really getting worried because she hadn't eaten in over 24 hours. She was still drinking water, which I was grateful for that, but she wasn't touching food and she was going through intermittent spurts of being avoidant and then wanting to be cuddly and then being avoidant and then wanting to be cuddly. And Sunday was the day that both of us were kind of at our worst. And so I was miserable, and I was really miserable because I wasn't feeling well, but I was miserable because she wasn't feeling well and was just obviously very uncomfortable. And I called the vet on Monday, and they couldn't get her in until what would have been today, Tuesday. And they said if she starts eating, then that's a good sign, and you probably don't need to bring her in. And um, yesterday, early evening, late afternoon, early evening, all of a sudden she just got up and went to her dish and started eating and acted like nothing had happened. So, which was great. And so, you know, that part kind of resolved itself. I'm still, just because of her age, I'm still kind of keeping an eye on things. But I mean, what are the freaking odds of both of us getting sick at the same time? And then I had a thought, but because, like, apparently there are viruses that can be transmitted between cats and dogs and humans, and rotavirus is one of them. But I didn't have the stomach ache like she did. I just had the like other flu type symptoms. But hers was all gastrointestinal. And so I don't know. It's so weird that we both got so ill at the same time. So I don't even know, but I think for the most part it's over. So I'm just counting my blessings. And this flu was really strange for me because like one of the main flu symptoms typically is a sore throat. And no matter what kind of virus I get, the first symptom that manifests in my body is a sore throat. And that's the only flu symptom that I did not have with this particular virus. I had no sore throat. I didn't even actually have nasal congestion until like the last 18 hours. And then it was like really, really minimal. And my throat is a little raw just from the post-nasal drip. But like I didn't have a sore throat, which was really strange. I was grateful because it meant, and I still had a little bit of an appetite, so I could still eat and have it not be painful. So that was nice. So yeah, that's been like my weekend, give or plus a few extra days. It just hasn't been the best time since like Thursday, and that's why I haven't posted in like a week. This is like the longest I think I've gone without uploading a video since I first started my channel. I would go like a week in between, and then I was posting like really frequently after that. So it was weird not to post anything for a week. So I thought I would just do like a check-in and have a little maybe kind of astrology chit chat. Astrology is a rabbit hole that I have currently been going down quite a lot, which is surprising just because it's never been like a really it topic for me until recently. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, yes, all the astrology, please. And particularly the houses. The houses have been kind of fascinating me lately, and particularly in looking at my own natal chart, just kind of where what planet rules each of my houses, and kind of looking at what houses. I'm sorry about the light. This is like the only sunny day we've had in like 3 weeks. I know we've had like pouring rain every single day except for today, and the light is everywhere, and it's so yeah, spots. But anyway, yeah, planetary rulers and placements in the houses. It's kind of been a thing for me lately. And I was thinking about how we're still in Capricorn season. The sun is still in Capricorn. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn kind of gets a bad rap, I think, sometimes, just because it's often associated with that energy of kind of restriction and maybe limitation. It's like the opposite of Jupiter. Jupiter is this very kind of expansive energy with kind of like the limitless possibilities and traveling and exploration. It's Sagittarian kind of in that way, and Saturn is like the counterbalance to that. And if you think about it, we come out of Sagittarius season, which is a Jupiter season, into Capricorn season, which is a Saturn season. So we go from this kind of expansion. Like you think about, the holiday time like Thanksgiving and the lead in into Christmas where there's all this food and drink, and you just have all of this kind of, you know, if you're privileged enough to have, all of this excess around you, and then, the holidays kind of end and we taper off into the new year, and then all of a sudden we feel this need to kind of rein ourselves in a little bit. And that's Saturn, I think. So we go from the Jupiterian season of Sagittarius to the Saturnian season of Capricorn, and it's a really interesting dynamic, kind of the interplay between those two. I'm growing actually quite fond of Saturn. Capricorn's kind of an important placement in my chart. My moon is there, my south node is there, and my midheaven is there. And I currently use whole sign houses. And in my chart, my midheaven is actually in my 9th house, not my 10th house. I was thinking about Sagittarius season and my channel and how much I expanded and my channel expanded, and how much content I put out, and how many ideas were pouring through me, and just all of these things were coming into creation. And it's, very Jupiterian, very big and expansive, kind of in a short period of time. And it's a wonderful experience when you're in it. But then every once in a while you have to be pulled back a little bit, and that's Saturn. And getting sick, and I haven't been this sick in quite some time, and getting this sick and my cat getting sick, it was just kind of a signal. I'm kind of winded still, so I'm breathing a little bit heavy, but that's improving. But it's just a reminder that you can have these periods of expansion, but then eventually for that counterbalance needs to come into play, and it's time to pull back. And this was definitely a pullback, definitely a pullback for me during this time. And then I started thinking about my anchor word, my anchor card for Capricorn season, which I pulled in my year ahead reading. The first part. This is going to be like a continuation of that, and it's going to be a series, and I'll put it in the same playlist as that one. But the card I pulled for Capricorn season from the Vintage Wisdom Oracle was the Patience card, and the light is awful. I'm just going to insert a photo like right here, just because the light won't be mean to that as much. But I think patience is a very good keyword for Saturn energy, just because when you have to be patient, it's because you're in something for the long haul. And Saturn for me is kind of that pragmatic, forward thinking, kind of in it for the long haul kind of energy. And this patience card has been a thing for me, just because before I got sick, I had done some content mapping and just kind of outlined some things that I wanted to do in the order, or just things that I had in mind. I had filmed some intros, and just I was starting to put pieces together. And then I got sick, and it wasn't that I was frustrated. I kind of was, actually, just because I was in this Jupiterian kind of expansive flow, and getting knocked out of that is hard. And I don't like bringing human design into every video that I do, just because it's not a topic that everyone resonates with. But I'm a manifester, and one of the characteristics of manifestors is that when we are in this creative, internal, intrinsic flow. And when we get taken out of that, it can be almost like a punch in the face, whether that is just through, an interruption from a phone call, or someone comes to the house, or you get the flu, or, just whatever, anything. It can be a major thing or a minor thing. It doesn't matter. The point is you're knocked out. You're knocked out of what you were doing. And that can be a little, And if that happens over and over and over and over again, that's where the not self theme for manifestors of anger can come into play. And I wasn't angry, it's just these things happen. But over time, over the course of your life, if you allow this to build enough, eventually you can get to that point. But the patience card has been, it's come into play in a much bigger way than I thought it would. It was a really good reminder that, good things take time. You're going to get interrupted, and it's how you deal with it. And so I've been just trying to see this as an opportunity to just take some time out. And then my winner card of Two of Swords, which I'll also put up here because light. Two of Swords is very much my card of speak less and listen more, or keep your ideas to yourself, or don't communicate as much as you feel like you might need to. Just kind of churn some things over in your mind, some ideas. To think High Priestess, that's very much an internal process. So Saturn's been putting me in my place a little bit, and just giving me some reminders that you can be as expansive as you want, but for a time, and then you need to pull some stuff back. And my Saturn placement, my planet Saturn, is in my 6th house. And so is my Jupiter. Actually, they're both there. And 6th house is the house of health, wellness, and routine. And so it was just, and pets. My cat got sick. But yeah, so it's just a reminder that, when it's time to pull back, it's time to pull back, and it's okay. I watched a really great video recently that Farah did on, I think she just called it like astrology rambles, I think, and it was one of those videos that I was in the rabbit hole before I saw that video, but her video kind of prompted me to go to burrow a little bit further down and do some more digging on things, which I intend to talk about at a later time. I'm just kind of pacing myself right now. I just really wanted to get something published or posted, just because it's been a week and that's weird for me. So I wanted to do this today and just kind of vocalize my thinking on this entire topic. For second decan Capricorn, I drew this Unleash Your Passion card. I don't know how much passion was unleashed during this decan because I was sick for a good chunk of it, but I realized that there was a lot of stuff internal, just thoughts and ideas and things that I got excited about. Even when I wasn't feeling well, there was some of that happening, but it was internal. This is very much it's an internal process. It's an internal, more yin energy right now. So this was actually more valid than I gave it credit for initially. But I looked at my Astro Clock bookmark on my phone this morning, and I saw that the sun was in 20 degrees Capricorn today, on Tuesday the 10th. And for me, that's the start of third decan Capricorn. And so I realized that apparently I learned the lesson of that Unleash Your Passion card, and now I can draw a new card for third decan Capricorn from the Wisdom of Hafiz deck. Oh, this glossy card stuck in that light. Okay. So let's see what I get. I like having these advice cards for the decans. It's been a lovely experience, and it's just something simple to reflect on for these little short micro seasons of time. Oh, look at that. Okay. Remember how I said Two of Swords was speak less, listen more? The light. Can't make this up. Can't make this up. Okay. So, listen. And the figure is like really high up in a window. So, and it's like a taking in of everything around, sounds from up high and from down low. I'm going to read this guidebook entry because I love this guidebook. Listen, every day and in every way, we are involved in the great conversation. You talk to greater, greater has a capital G, by expressing your wishes, hopes, and desires. You receive greater's answer by listening to snatches of conversation in an elevator, to song lyrics on the radio, to words, signs, and symbols that come your way in any situation. You also listen through intentional silence, welcoming the presence that knows and shares all. Let yourself become a student of keen listening. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Use that sacred ratio to gain more clarity and intimacy with greater. So good. And what's hilarious is that is a perfect lead-in to another video that I intend on posting right around when Aquarius season begins. And it's going to be a VR to a tag that I discovered about 3 weeks ago. And it's perfect for something that I wanted to do. And I will reference back to this just because it's going to be right before that happens. And so this is telling me I need to focus on that particular. Yeah, this is good stuff. Oh my gosh. Saturn is not as bad as people might think. Saturn has valuable lessons to teach, and I definitely learned some over the past few days. So, okay. I'm getting winded, and I'm gonna go check on my cat and finish my ginger beer because it's literally one of the only things that sounds good right now. Coffee is still a big fat no for me. My son made his cup this morning. He has black coffee before school every morning, and he was making his cup this morning. And my body was like, that's a big fat nope. Didn't even smell good, which it breaks my heart because I love coffee so much. So, but yeah, I'm going to go do all those things. So I'll post again soon. I have something else I'm working on that I anticipate might be up maybe Saturday. We'll see how that goes. I'm not setting myself to any specific schedule, but that's kind of a feasible date, I think, for my next video. So until then, take care and be well.